First of all, we've got to get through the weekend without a drowning, which we can't do in Arizona. We've had a couple of different stories with children dying, but it's not only in a pool, it's in a hot car. We're going to go through those stories. This is unfortunately what happens every year in Arizona. There are children that die in a pool. There are kids that are, by accident, left in the back of a hot car and perish, unfortunately. And the crazy thing is, I don't know if we'll ever be able to stop it. I don't know if there's technology out there. They keep talking about all this different technology.
I'm not ready to throw my hands up and say there's just nothing we can do about kids drowning in pools. Like, I'm not ready for that.
Well, I don't think anybody wants to do that.
Well, I think we still need to keep working to stop it.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Because if you want to look at some numbers, the numbers are bad.
We had two 2-year-olds drown over the weekend, hours apart.
Correct.
2-year-old.
Yeah. The numbers are bad. I mean, if you want to look back at last year compared to this year, we've doubled the numbers at around this time.
We are sadly on a negative record pace.
Yeah. At this time last year, we had 23. They're called drownings or near drownings. Okay, so 23 at this time last year. This year we've got 45.
Yeah.
At this time last year, we had 6 children die. This year we have 13.
Right.
So all of last summer, 6. We've kind of just officially started the summer, like yesterday, and now we've got 13.
So follow me on this. If you leave your child in a hot car, or if you refuse to use a car seat for an infant or toddler, or you don't buckle them in, you can be held criminally responsible. You are endangering the life of that child. Should we do the same for parents or adults who don't watch their kids around water? Should you be held criminally liable for endangering that child? And if your child drowns, God forbid, or is a near drowning, that means you failed. You failed. What's the difference between that and leaving your kid in the car when it's 115 degrees? What's the difference?
Just a different way to die.
Yeah, neither of them good.
Yeah, neither of them good.
But we look at one as the parents are being negligent. We look at the other and go, oh, just what can you do? No.
But if you put a legal consequence out there, and just hear me out. You put a legal consequence out there, is that going to make you watch your kid more around a pool?
I don't know if it would fundamentally change. No. But has it fundamentally changed using car seats? I got to believe it had some effect on it.
But you can say, hey, well, if you leave your kid in the back seat of a car and your kid dies, we'll put you in jail for 100 years. Right? Well, every parent, that's not going to make them more careful about making sure their children get out.
So what?
They don't care about the consequences for them. Their child is already gone. Their child is dead. So I struggle with this, putting
because you think
legal.
they've already paid a huge price.
I do, but I think there has to be some sort of legal avenue that you can charge a parent when it comes to a child's death.
Okay, Gaydos, let me go then with this. So let's take leaving your kid in the hot car off the table. Let's go more neglectful. Starving your child.
It happens all the time,
refusing
unfortunately.
To give them medicine.
Yeah.
A variety of so we'll go past the mistake into what I think most people would say is blatantly negligent.
Mm-hmm.
Is leaving your kid alone in the backyard around the pool similar to that?
Yeah, but we're not talking about just necessarily leaving your kid in the backyard around a pool. It's you're all in the house. The kid somehow gets out. Kid is in the bottom of the pool. So it's not like you're opening the door for the child and saying, yep, go ahead and play. It's one of those things where you're watching your child, but you're not watching. Nobody watches their kid 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Like dad will fall asleep maybe. Maybe work the night shift, comes home, he falls asleep.
I acknowledge
kid gets out, yeah.
that they're probably not doing it on purpose.
No.
I'm certainly not making that argument.
No.
I'm saying it's still negligent even if you didn't do it on purpose.
I agree.
We got some texts in. Can I share with you a couple texts?
I'd like to hear some.
620. This texter said, when we got our pool, the first thing we did before the hole was even dug was we put a deadbolt at the very top of the patio doors.
Yep.
It's something that could easily be done by pool companies when a pool's installed at such a minimal cost.
There's no question. I mean, it's a smart move. I think probably most parents have done it. It doesn't mean that the kid can't get on a chair and turn it if he or she is old enough, I guess.
Okay. So let me put it this way then. I'm still looking for an analogy.
Yeah.
If you're a responsible gun owner,
Yeah.
do you leave a loaded, unlocked firearm on the coffee table or in the crib with your child?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Yeah.
It's a deadly weapon.
So is a pool.
The pool is a deadly weapon. And by the way, the pool is more deadly to children than guns are.
And so is the heat.
Yeah.
Leave your kid in a hot car. It's a brutal death for a child. That takes a long time. Talk to police officers about that. It's horrific.
It's horrible to even think about.
I'm just thinking if you're just joining us, what we're trying to figure out is, well, I don't know why this is happening more this year than last year, but also to charge a parent, if you leave your kid in the back seat and the kid dies,
we charge parents.
We charge you. If your kid somehow gets near the pool and gets in there and drowns, we don't charge you.
We just throw our hands up and say there's nothing we can do.
I don't know if it's that. Okay, why don't we charge for that?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I mean, I realize you're heaping misery upon misery, but
yeah,
that is negligence.
Yeah.
Don't some cities have fence laws though?
I thought we did in Phoenix.
I thought we did too.
I thought we did.
And so consequently, if the pool didn't have the fence and a child fell in and drowned, I would think then you would be liable.
Because you had an unsafe pool.
Right. Right.
Does charging parents reinforce the responsibility of mom and dad to protect their children from harm? You start charging parents or putting them in jail or what have you if their kid dies in a pool. Does that make other parents wake up and say, we've got to make sure? It doesn't.
I was going to say, because I'm going to just say, obviously it hasn't. Yeah. Because these horrible stories keep happening. And we know that the odds are another one's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 days. By the way, I looked it up. Can I share this? Mm-hmm. Arizona law requires that below ground and above ground pools must be completely enclosed by a wall, fence, or another barrier that's at least 5 feet high and does not have any openings through which an object 4 inches or more in diameter could pass through.
So that sounds like if you have a block wall in your backyard. No, wait, just hear me out. If you have a block wall in your backyard and no fence, I'm talking about the concrete wall.
That counts.
That counts. That doesn't do any good for the person that's living in the house.
In the house. It keeps other people from accessing your unless
it does.
Of course, if you don't lock your gate and somebody just walks through the gate, you've not done anything.
But your neighbor's kid could walk right in, I guess, if you're. Mm-hmm. But that law does nothing to keep a child safe who's already in the house and escapes the house and gets to the backyard.
Right.
And obviously there are other people who say, okay, the brick wall, not the brick wall, what would you call it?
Block wall.
Block wall, certainly not enough.
The one that separates you from your neighbor.
Because I've seen houses where you've got the pool on the right side, and then there's a fence, and you can't get by the pool unless you open the fence.
Right.
But then you have the other side of the backyard that's wide open, and that's where they play, and that's where it's safe. But I think a lot of homes don't have that. It's the block wall that makes it legal.
Again, another law is a self-latching device on any door with direct access to the pool area, and latching devices on windows located at least 54 inches above the floor. We have the laws and regulations. They're either being ignored, not followed, or adults are being negligent.
So we had a woman left her child in a car. It was 129 degrees over the weekend.
That child survived, thankfully.
Trapped the 4-year-old inside. And then obviously we were also talking about the other story over the weekend of 2 toddlers died in separate drownings within hours. And why are we charging just the hot.
We charged the mom with
the hot car,
we
but
charged
not
her.
All right.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.